My name is Norma Barrows, and by the time my sister told me not to come to the birthday party I paid for, I had already spent years learning how silence can bruise deeper than any blow. Emma called me that afternoon with a laugh in her voice, the kind she used when she knew she was stepping on me and assumed I'd stay quiet like always. Don't come, it's VIP only. I'll share everything online, she said, breezy, careless. Then she hung up. No hesitation. No gratitude for the $5,200 I'd transferred that morning. Just a digital wave and a dial tone. I stared at the phone for a long second. Then I opened the last message she'd sent me, a payment request labeled "Deposit for venue, thank you." I reread it like it was some ancient joke I wasn't meant to understand. She took my money, removed me from her RSVP list, and expected me to smile through a screen while she spun around an address I technically funded. I typed one word back: copy. That night, I moved the way a storm does, silent but unstoppable. I canceled the venue, blocked the caterer. Then I sent a group message to every single guest on her precious list. Hi, everyone. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Emma's birthday party has been postponed. Refunds are being processed. Thank you for understanding. The next day, only one person showed up at the studio she'd rented: my lawyer. But this wasn't the beginning. Not really. It started a long time ago, years before the glossy invitations and her obsession with flower walls and filtered perfection. Back when I was just her older sister, the one who fixed her messes, paid her bills, lied to landlords, and wired emergency cash like it was a monthly subscription. Our family has always had its hierarchy. Emma, the princess. Mom, her stage manager. Dad, the microphone no one asked for. Me, I was the spotlight, used when needed, forgotten the rest of the time. When we were kids, Emma would throw tantrums if I didn't let her win. Now she just wins by default. Mom always said I should be proud of her. Dad said I should be more like her. Last Thanksgiving, they sat around the table praising how mature Emma was for planning a destination birthday party on her own. I had paid for half of it. They knew that, but no one said my name. They toasted to her success and then asked me to carve the turkey. This year, she told me not to come at all. What Emma didn't understand, what none of them understood, was that I don't make threats. I make plans. And this time the plan was already quietly unfolding. If you looked at her Instagram, you'd think Emma built an empire from scratch. White loft, fairy lights, a staged clip of her typing dramatically on a MacBook. Caption: never stop building yourself, from zero to CEO. I laughed out loud, because the zero was me, my bank account, my labor, my sleepless nights, and the CEO was her fantasy. Last year alone, I'd sent her nearly $14,000. Marketing courses, camera equipment, studio rentals, allergy treatments, a brand consultant. Yes, apparently those exist. I never ask questions. I was raised to feel guilty for saying no. When I asked her once if she could at least credit me, she said, "It's not sponsorship, it's sisterhood. You're family. It's the rule." Yes, that was the rule. She was the star, I was the producer. But without rights, without thanks, without my name ever spoken out loud. Mom stayed silent, the kind of silence that's dripping with complicity. When I asked why Emma didn't work, why she didn't get a real job or apply for grants, Mom just sighed. "She's fragile, sweetheart, but you're strong." That wasn't love, that was manipulation dressed as concern. Dad didn't bother pretending. Once, after I sent them $700 for overdue utilities, I saw them on Instagram in a pool. Caption: family spa day. Love my tribe. They were all there. Mom, Dad, Emma. I wasn't. I messaged them. "Is that the spa you paid for with my utility money?" Dad replied with a voice memo. "What are you counting now? Send an invoice next time, accountant." I tried to let it go, but then came the post. Emma on a couch, one I recognized because I paid for it, wine in hand, lights glowing behind her. Caption: sometimes success is rising when everyone expects you to fall. Self-made luxury. Self-made. I felt something hollow out inside me. But then the real bomb dropped. A flagged PayPal email, unusual activity. I opened it. My hands went cold. Emma had been using my PayPal to receive donations from followers. $5 here, $20 there, even $50 payments, with messages like, "Thanks for being so inspiring. Coffee on me, queen." She'd linked her platform to my account months ago when I helped her set up Patreon. Either she forgot to disconnect it, or worse, she'd cloned the credentials and created a shadow account tied to my name. I found Payment logs, IP addresses, emails, notifications she hid, transactions routed through my identity. I began collecting screenshots, receipts, text threats, everything I could find. I didn't know how I'd use it yet. I just knew something was very, very wrong. Then came the video. The family group chat, usually full of forwarded memes and passive-aggressive "when are you visiting" messages, lit up with a clip. Me, on my knees, fixing the sink in my parents' apartment. Filmed from above, like a humiliation reel. Dad's voice in the background. "Here's my daughter, the dream plumber. Still works for free." Laughter followed. Cousins chimed in. "Classic. Send her over when she's done. My toilet's clogged." She should have gone to trade school. Then Emma forwarded the video to her Instagram story. Caption: "The best success is staying humble, even when your haters are still under your sink. Family life." I physically threw up. Not metaphorically, not poetically. My body rejected the moment. I didn't yell, I didn't reply. I opened a new folder on my laptop, named it Witness, Family. I poured everything into it. Screenshots, bank logs, account connections, leaked files, Patreon data. And then I found the file that shattered whatever was left of my belief in family. An email from Mom to Emma. Subject: "As you asked, here it is." Attached were scans of my passport, utility bills, a screenshot of my banking dashboard. She'd taken them the last time she borrowed my laptop to find a recipe. Dad sent Emma a photo of my ID, and Emma used all of it to apply for a branding grant under my name. She got $3,000, and I had no idea. That was the moment everything clicked into place. That was when something inside me stopped bending. The night Emma uninvited me from her party, the party I funded, I didn't rage. I just whispered, "This ends now." Emma arrived at the birthday venue the next afternoon, floating in like self-crowned royalty. Her heels clicked across the polished floor with theatrical confidence. Her hair was blown out flawlessly. Her skin glowed with the kind of sheen that comes from expensive facials, the kind I now knew cost $300, charged to a card she had no legal right to use. The purse in her hand, bought with my money. The studio she booked, paid with the stolen funds she filtered through my accounts. She stepped inside ready for applause, for adoration, for the curated spectacle she believed she deserved. Instead, she found silence. No guests, no music, no laughter, no camera flashes. Just one man sitting in the far corner of the pristine, empty room, dressed in a dark gray suit, polished shoes, and the kind of calm that unsettles guilty people. Emma hesitated. Excuse me? Are you with the catering?" The man stood, buttoning his jacket. "No, Ms. Barrows. My name is Jacob Reeves, legal representative for Ms. Norma Barrows." Her face drained of color. "What? Why, what is happening?" He handed her a sealed envelope, a black velvet pouch containing a flash drive. "You've been served." Then he walked right past her and out the door, leaving her alone in the studio she'd rented with stolen money, holding what might as well have been a detonator. Her phone rang. She answered immediately. "What is this?" she snapped. "Where is everyone?" "Happy birthday, Emma," I said, my voice steady, quiet, unshakable. "Enjoy the silence." "You think this is funny?" "No," I replied. "I think it's overdue." She tore into the envelope with one hand, the phone still pressed to her ear. Paper rustled, pages flipped. I could hear her breath quickening. "You hired a lawyer?" she scoffed. "This is harassment." "Keep reading." Inside the envelope was the full compiled report. PayPal logs showing her rerouting donations from my account. Patreon backend data tied to her apartment's IP address. Bank transactions falsely labeled refunds, but routed to her personal account. The branding grant application she filed under my name, using my ID, my passport, my bank information, and forging my signature. "This is fraud," I said. "Documented, verified, cloud-backed, and time-stamped." "I didn't mean to—" "Oh, you meant every moment of it." My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. "You flaunted your self-made lifestyle while siphoning from mine. You built your platform on my foundation. And when I asked for basic respect, you laughed. You erased me." She began pacing, heels clicking erratically across the empty floor. "Norma, please don't do this publicly. We're family. We can talk. You don't have to—" "I tried talking. You hung up. You mocked me. You kicked me out of the party I paid for." I paused. "You made your choice. Now I'm just making sure you face it alone." "This is cruel," she said, her voice cracking. "You're humiliating me." "No," I replied. "This is justice. You humiliated me every time you called yourself self-made while standing on my shoulders. Every time you spent my money and called it your win. Every time you used my identity to live your fantasy. You can't destroy me like this, she whispered. I didn't destroy anything, I said softly. I just stopped protecting your lie. She screamed, loud, raw, animalistic. You did this on my birthday? No, Emma, I said. You did this. I just chose the date. Then I hung up. She stood alone in that empty studio, the silence louder than any crowd she imagined. The flash drive slipped from her shaking hand and hit the floor with a dull clack. The room felt smaller, the lights harsher, her shoes too tight, her makeup suddenly a mask she couldn't peel off. And that was only the beginning of her unraveling. The fallout began within hours. Her PayPal account froze. Patreon suspended her page pending investigation. Instagram flagged multiple posts for financial irregularities. Every brick she'd stacked on her fabricated empire began dissolving under scrutiny. She tried posting a carefully angled, tearful selfie, betrayed by my own blood. Some people flooded in with sympathy, but screenshots traveled faster. Comments shifted, doubts emerged, receipts surfaced. 5 days later, Barrows v. Barrows. Emma arrived dressed in white like it was a press event. She even waved at someone. Only problem? No cameras were allowed. She claimed I'd given everything freely, that it was sibling generosity exaggerated into a legal war. She said I misunderstood, that she was fragile, that I was overreacting. Then Jacob played the audio. Emma's voice, clear as crystal. She's easy to manipulate. That was the breaking point. The court traced the fake grant, the stolen ID, the IP addresses, the PayPal siphoning, the unauthorized credit use. The verdict was swift. Emma must repay every cent, plus damages, plus legal fees. And she was permanently barred from using my name or information for any business or financial purpose. She didn't appeal. She knew she would lose again. The internet caught wind of everything, not because I leaked it, but because truth has a gravitational pull. People dug through her posts, her stories, her captions, and realized the empire she sold them was made of sand. But I wasn't interested in ruining her. I was interested in finding peace. That peace came from building something real. A small blog called Silent Ledger, a space for people like me. People drained, guilted, manipulated by the ones they loved most. Stories poured in, anonymous confessions, screenshots from strangers who had lived as ATMs for their families. I didn't feel vindictive, I felt understood. Then one message arrived. You helped me stop being their ATM. I can breathe again. I read it twice. For the first time in years, the world felt quiet. But my family wasn't done. Not yet. The quiet I found didn't last long. It never does when you're born into a family that treats guilt like a currency. 3 days after the verdict, my mother sent me a message. She's devastated, Norma. Is that what you wanted? An hour later, another one. Fix this. Blood matters. Once, those words would have made my chest tighten. Once, I would have apologized, sent money, tried to fix a problem I didn't create. But not anymore. I forwarded both messages to Jacob, my lawyer. He drafted a cease and desist within minutes. After that, their guilt trips went silent. For a while, I moved into a new place, a bright, quiet loft with big windows and a wooden desk overlooking the trees. Paid in full with the court's compensation. No shared leases, no family signatures, no strings. I set up a small plaque near the corner of the room. Silent Ledger HQ, no entry without proof of honesty. The repayments Emma owed didn't come from her pocket. Of course they didn't. They came through 3 accounts. Her boyfriend, my parents' retirement fund, and one anonymous account I recognized immediately. My mother had paid the last portion. Even after everything, she was still cleaning Emma's messes, still breaking herself to shield the child she refused to let grow up. And yet she called me cruel. That realization used to hurt. Now it just felt like distance, a boundary finally taking shape. Emma vanished for a while, deleted her posts, ghosted her followers, went dark online. And then suddenly, she was back. A full apology video, soft lighting, miss you music in the background, eyes glistening like glass. I want to apologize to my sister, she said, voice trembling just enough to seem sincere. I lost myself. I made mistakes. I'm working on growing from them. The internet split. Some forgave her instantly. Some didn't trust her. I didn't bother watching it. But then came the leak. Behind-the-scenes footage, filmed right before the apology. Same setup, same lighting. Emma laughing with someone off camera. God, people are dumb. Throw in one fake tear and they eat it up. Maybe I'll get nominated. That was the real Emma, and it destroyed whatever image she was trying to resurrect. Followers turned. Brands distanced themselves. Platforms suspended her account. Her influencer empire finally crumbled under its own false weight. I didn't say a word. Just posted a screenshot of her apology video with a simple caption. You almost fooled them. Almost. After that, silence. No more family group chats. No more guilt-drenched messages. No more being the emergency ATM, the fixer, the sister who always said yes. On my birthday, I turned my phone off. No notifications, no family drama, no manufactured crises dressed as affection. I drove to a small house in the woods, a quiet retreat I'd found on a whim. A porch overlooking tall pine trees. A soft breeze. A place where nobody needed anything from me. By noon, I was sitting with a mug of coffee, scrolling through messages on Silent Ledger. People from all over the world had written, "Because of you, I finally told my parents no. You helped me walk away. Your story saved my savings." Their words filled a space inside me I didn't know was empty. As the sun set, I walked to the shed, opened the small safe, and pulled out the flash drive. The one holding every screenshot, every piece of evidence, every terrible truth. The weight of years sat in my hand. Proof of what I'd endured. Proof of what I'd survived. I stood in front of the shredder, hesitating for only a second. Then I said, "The story's written. I don't need to reread it." The flash drive disappeared into the blades. Not erased, but released. Back inside, I opened my laptop, went to Silent Ledger's homepage, and typed, "We collect truth. We don't hoard revenge." No announcement, no dramatic closure, no post-war triumph. I simply closed the laptop, because sometimes closure isn't loud. Sometimes it's just peace.